Boom. All right, legends. So, there was I one time going through Heathrow Airport on my way to Hong Kong for my first book launch as Hong Kong's #2 best-selling author at the time. And that was without doing any of this nonsense. But I noticed something when I went in the bookshop to see if they were selling my book, which they were. I noticed, where am I there? I'm number 14. And I was quite chuffed that I was only 2 below Gary Neville. I was even more chuffed that I was above James Corden. But I noticed James Corden was doing something a bit strange on his book cover. Funny enough, after he did that strange thing, he suddenly went on to be the biggest selling thing in Hollywood. So, let's get into it. Boom. All right, legends. I hope this finds you firing. I hope you're as happy as me, because the cabal that thought they've had it so good for so long, didn't they? It's all starting to come down. I just want to do my best, if I may, to help people make sense of all this Diddy stuff. Because people are, I'm sure the great masses just think this is another pop star fallen from grace, bit of a misdemeanor, bought too much baby oil by mistake. But in order to bring down this evil lot and restore life to what it should be, which is beautiful, where people can work together for a progressive future, one of love, peace, kindness, empathy, which we don't have. Ridiculously high suicide statistics, addiction statistics, constant state of massacre like we're seeing in the Middle East at the moment. And it's all of the stuff I've mentioned, folks. You'll find the same dark network behind all of it. And just going back to my story there, so there was I passing through Heathrow Airport, and I was chuffed to bits, obviously, having come from the depths of chronic drug addiction and so mentally unwell that the doctors told my family that I should probably be put in a mental facility and I'd be there for life. To come back and write an internationally best-selling book, when I was still very much a druggie, I thought that was a good, I did it on behalf of druggies everywhere to show don't judge a book by its cover, folks. I wouldn't want a normal life. I really wouldn't. I look at normal people and I find something really incredibly sad about it. Unless they're happy, of course. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. My whole point is, look at old Jamie Boy Corden there on the cover of his book. What's he doing? Let's take a look. So he's doing the old symbolism, isn't he? Occult symbology, the single eye, the all-seeing eye. You're going to hear so much. You're going to hear so many different explanations for what this actually means, from the eye of Horus, the pineal gland, the all-seeing, But I think we can basically understand now, can't we, that Hollywood celebrities have to do this ritual if they want to stay in vogue. And it's not just this ritual. There's a whole load of other rituals, and we're going to take a look at what Kanye said about this. But isn't it fascinating that after James brought out his memoir, doing the one-eye symbolism, do you remember what happened next? Went on to become the biggest thing in Hollywood, didn't he? And no disrespect to the guy, and I mean no disrespect to James Corden, folks. I got nothing but love for him, because he's just me manifested in a different body, isn't he? You know. And I'm not here to have a go at him or whatever. I think he's a massive victim. I think he's a victim because, no disrespect, he wasn't very funny, was he? Oh, you might disagree, and that's absolutely fine. I'm just saying I don't think he was up there with the likes of like Rick Mayall or Morecambe and Wise. I think he was more sort of selected, and I want to look at that. And if you case you think this is just a sort of one-off, that's Keith Richards' memoir. They've all got to do it, folks. If you want to be in the club, if you want to be popular, you want to be in demand, if you want to be massively living in your ego and getting all the adoration in the 3D material world, you got to play their game, you know? You got to play their game. But when I started to become interested in all this stuff and taking interest in the occult, I come across this guy, Dave Chappelle. In fact, I think I was a fan of Dave's comedy before I saw him in this infamous appearance on Oprah. And he was on Oprah, and she's sort of saying, hey, Dave, you know, your first series was just wild. Everybody loved it. If you haven't seen the Chappelle show, folks, I try and get yourself a copy. Bloody hilarious. The dude with a crack, what's his name? Someone put it in the comments. It's just when he goes into school and he's teacher for the day. Anyway, I digress. But the point is, Dave went on Oprah, and she's like, Dave, you were offered $50 million for a second series, and you ran away to Africa. What was that about? And to fill you in, and I'm sort of paraphrasing a bit of friends because it was a long time ago, but basically Dave got called into this room of executives who were all like looking at him all like Illuminati style, and they were like, right, sign your name in blood, son, we'll make you famous, or we'll keep you famous. I'm thinking of a certain rock band that's been in the media quite a lot at the moment. You see the same thing, don't you? This fall from grace, let you wallow down there a bit, and then put a pen in your hand and sign a contract, and they're going to put you back up there. It's a massive ego trap, folks. It's called, there was a film about it, wasn't there, called Crossroads. It was actually written about, was it a jazz musician? Again, put it in the comments, folks. I know you know more than I do. But he arrives at this crossroads, and the devil meets him there. And the devil says, listen, you sign up for me, son, you're going to have riches beyond everything that you could ever desire. Just like when Jesus was taken up on a mountain by the old Diablo, and he said, look around you, Jesus, all of this, it'll all be yours if you come and work for me. And what did Jesus say? Fuck off. Like, I'll have all that and I'll have shit, mate. You know, it's the same thing in the music industry. And Dave was just pointing out that, look, I've noticed stuff. When these celebrities sign that deal, they all go Hollywood. For a start, you know, let's just play a bit.
We shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man...
Got to pause it a bit, folks.
...in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be...
Okay. He says, why do they put every black man in a dress? Well, that's known as a humiliation ritual. Plus the fact that probably quite a lot of these hip-hop artists that we thought were big macho, bloody drug-dealing gangsters all turned out to be gay, didn't they? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So Dave's saying, like, you know, why is it you sign up black men and suddenly they've got to wear dresses? What's the weird thing going on here? Do you remember Epstein had was it a photo, a painting of Bill Clinton that was found in his house with Bill Clinton wearing a dress with red high heels. But Dave's like, it freaked him out. He's like, how come these, you see these singers that are sort of mediocre and then suddenly they've got everything. And anyway, Dave went off to Africa, and then he came back like 10 years later, or he came back on the scene, and he was massively popular again. And they were like, Dave, what happened? He said, well, I kind of figured that like being famous and working for the club is probably a lot better than not being famous. He's quite honest about it. And of course, then he started appearing on chat shows and stuff. And guess what he was wearing? He was wearing essentially a dress. They'd argue it was a long T-shirt, but anyone who knows Dave Chappelle would know, no, he wouldn't wear that shit. So, yes. So this is the deal they have to sign up to, but allegedly. But one of the other parts of this deal is that if you want to be up there and stay up there, you got to do a sacrifice. And this is Kanye talking about it. And this is just, this is fascinating. I don't know how much of this I can play, and I hope you can hear it. Oh.
They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see,
you.
it ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah.
What he said? My mama was sacrificed.
Appreciate
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And
MK Ultra.
God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important than thinking in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want.
There you go. So what he's essentially saying there is, I never signed the deal, folks. So, I never done the ritual. So I'm protected. I can sort of say what I want. But if you think about it, he's one of the very few people in Hollywood that's coming out and speaking the truth. And I just want to, Justin Bieber's been in the news, isn't he? I don't want to add to this guy's trauma, but the stuff that they're saying, if you're not aware, you can pretty much do the maths. It was that Diddy made tapes of the two of them. I'm not going to say any more, and then sold them to a lot of high-profile celebrities. We talked the other day, didn't we, about why was Hollywood formed? What was it all about? And it was an interesting time in history. I won't go too deep into it again, but basically you had these ultra switched on young Jewish guys in New York, all mega schooled in Babylonian mystery school and Kabbalah, etc., etc. And they ran their Nickelodeon, That's the logo of Nickelodeon today, folks. It's still got that occult Babylonian symbology behind it. And they had these Nickelodeon cinemas where you could pay a nickel and watch a movie. And they came under all this competition from Kodak and Edison and the like. So they said, right, let's go out west and we'll make our own. You know, there's an emerging film industry out there, and it's called Hollywood. Hollywood being the wood that was used to make the magic wands. I think it was in like the days, you know, of Wicca and black magic and the like. And at the same time, you had the pornographers kicked out of Germany, and so they're descending on Hollywood. Do you see how this is going? You got occult, you got sadistic evil, all meeting, and at the same time, a chap called Jack Parsons, who was trying to get a rocket into space, who had something called, was it JPL, Jack Parsons Laboratories, or Jack Parsons Labs, and he realized that, you know, he couldn't get a rocket into space. It was like impossible. So he went to Thelema, which is another form of occult under Aleister Crowley. And all this stuff is all around sort of like Laurel Canyon at the same time as in the sort of build up to MK Ultra. And basically what I'm saying is it's like a melting point of just like the worst side of humanity. And I was just watching this video earlier, and just to see how, I got to be careful what I say here, folks, but to see how sexualized Justin Bieber was from such a young age by all these like depraved celebrities who've literally sold their souls for their 5 minutes in the spotlight. I say 5 minutes for people like Madonna, who is still playing the evil game, aren't they? She still gets her kit out, you know, her kit off whenever she can. She still likes to try and shove her tongue down the throat of upcoming, you know, youngsters, etc., etc. But I won't play this, folks, because we'll just get hit for copyright. But again, there's our boy. In fact, let me just play this bit.
Again. You smell amazing.
You smell amazing.
How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
Just got to keep pausing it, folks. Just listen to this.
Ever remember smelling that good at 16? Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. What music you...
Look at your eyes. And you can get the rest, folks. They're all at it. Anyway, so that was you know, no wonder Justin Bieber's been through the mill, isn't it? But I just wanted to come on to like the whole James Corden thing, and this is the reason I say he's a victim. And we're also going to look at what's the symbology behind this, the color orange, which we're going to see, you know, we're going to take a look at. But this is a Tango advert. So obviously Tango is a orange flavored drink. I believe it used to be sold in an orange can, did it not? But look at this advert and tell me if you don't think this is weird as fuck. And that if grown men did this to your child, you won't want to go, well, I'm not going to say what I'd want to do if someone did this to my child.
Hi. I'm asking you if you can seriously consider stocking more Tango. It is very important.
Well, James, we know where you live.
What are you doing in my house?
What are you doing in my house?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I just said that.
No, I just said that.
Stop it!
Stop it!
That wasn't even a word!
It wasn't even a word.
You've been here all day.
Can you see what this is supposed to symbolize, folks? And I don't know if you put the 2 and 2 together yet.
You've been here all day.
Look at me.
Do you get it now?
Look at me.
I'm a mess.
I'm a mess. Call for your tango megaphone and join the fun.
So, sorry folks, for some reason my creative cloud keeps popping up. That's not a euphemism. Yeah, bit bizarre, isn't it? This was like another version of it. Actually, I think this one it's saying it ended up getting banned, but and look away now, folks. If you've got any history of trauma, childhood stuff, you don't want to watch this. Just look away just for 30 seconds.
Megaphone, please.
Do you see it yet? So yeah, I'd say that young lad was selected from a young age for where they were gonna put him. And what's the symbology with the color orange? Well, the color orange in gematria, which is the Babylonian number system, or it's the system the ancients used where they assigned a number to letters so that a word would actually have a numeric value, and then you reduce that number by adding all the letter numbers together to come out with a final number. And without getting confusing you any more than I probably am, orange reduces to 33. 33 is a highly symbolic number in esoterics. Obviously, it's the number of vertebrae in the human spine, that the sacred secretion or the kundalini is said to, travel up and down. It's the number that Jesus died on. It's 3, which is the number of perfection, and 3, which is the number of perfection, which if you multiply them, 3 3s being 9, is the number of human consciousness, and so on and so forth. Hence the reason it's a tango advert. And I hope let me know if this is making sense, folks. I'm probably confusing myself here. This is why when they sent their free volunteers, let's say, they put them in a tin can, filled it with fossil fuel, and then they sent them off around the universe. This is why they drank orange tang. And they have their orange spacesuits. To you and me, it is just a spacesuit, and it's just a drink. But to these guys who speak in code, it means something entirely different. This is the advert. This is the advert that James Corden and Ariana Grande. Remember after that incident in Manchester, wasn't it? In Manchester, where someone went bang. You know the incident. People have got in trouble talking about it, haven't they? All trying to, talk their truth on it. But they had a concert after it, like a benefit concert. And whenever you get these events and you look, they troll out the same old celebrities, all the ones who've signed the deal. In fact, I think just to be a celebrity, you have to sign the deal. And one of those celebrities was Ariana Grande, or Ariana Grande. This was the video she did with James Corden, Remember, they've got, their job is to sell the narrative, the satanic narrative. And the very first thing you see in this what's the word? This pukey video that they did. Half the world had that. Well, most of the world, those that went along with it, had their freedom taken away for 18 months, and then these twats come out and sing a song about it, as though you're supposed to be grateful that the cult are no longer, using their brainwashing media to lock people in their homes. But the more astute amongst you will have already have noticed some symbology in this opening clip. The Illuminati, they love to put something in the opening clip, and in this case, I'd say it's this sign down here, or this stand, should I say? But if you play the song, I'm just going to turn the music off because that's what we normally get hit for copyright on. Look in the opening scenes. There's your... In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, folks, this is the code. This is the code for young boys. Now I think you understand what I'm talking about. And in the second scene, do you see it? These ones here, they got to put their some quite a random thing to have in the beginning of a video as a crate of oranges. But there you go. Does it all absolutely mean something every time? Well, no, of course not. There's a lot of coincidence in the world, isn't there? But yeah, just find it fascinating. So when we look at the Diddy stuff that's going on, they're just sacrificing that guy, folks. Every now and again they burn someone. It's part of the deal. They keep the masses happy, that they think that they're, all the awake people think that they're the white hats are like they're overcoming, and it's not, unless you see the deeper agenda behind it. This isn't just one celebrity, folks. This is just a cesspit where, whether they know it or not, celebrities are going along with this agenda, because that's what it was founded on. It was founded on the occult. It was founded upon evil. I'm going to go over the locals, folks, and I can talk a bit freer there. You can see I'm always stumbling over my words because you just got to be so careful what we say on certain platforms. But the next thing is, I wanted to look at, I meant to talk about this the other day. It was I'll get rid of that picture because that picture actually gets us in trouble, believe it or not. The Silicon Valley software can see that you're showing that, and I'm guessing they can see by what you say as well that you're talking about it. But that event, New York and Washington 20 years ago, wasn't it? The anniversary was quite recently. I was going to do a video because I met a couple of times now. He's been on the show, Willie Rodriguez, who was the last man to get out of the towers alive. He tells a very different story to the official narrative. But the point is, I come across this tweet and it kind of like backfired. The tweet is saying that this event used to be off limits, as in like for humor, because that's what memes are, isn't it? Memes generally tend to be, some sort of dryness or cleverness or type of humor. And Rolling Stone, obviously being a mainstream propaganda outlet, they're trying to say that now youngsters are allowed to make fun of that event because enough time has gone by. But it's been misinterpreted. this article's been misinterpreted by people that are thinking they're saying that my generation, for example, are we the boomers? I don't know about all that stuff, but like, we never spoke out about this and we all put our heads in the sand, which, let's be honest, is true. Not me, obviously, and hopefully not you. But most people didn't want to hear that this was a massive, conspiracy centered out of a certain country in the Middle East, using all the security apparatus and airports and media outlets around the world. Why? Because they either own them all, or they've just infiltrated them with their dark network, and it's backfired because people aren't reading it like that. They're reading it that young people are exposing that event and calling it out for what it,
Getting this question in the 19. Getting this question in the 19.
Calling it out for what it was. Let's just play a bit of this clip.
In the 1990s, and I said that the West really doesn't understand militant Islam. So I wrote a book in 1995, and I said that if the West doesn't wake up to the suicidal nature of militant Islam, the next thing you'll see is the militant Islam is bringing down the World Trade Center.
There you go. So there's Bibby doing his bit for the big club. Probably their number one puppet, isn't he? Bibby and BlackRock. These people are thick, folks. They think you're too stupid to understand that this fucking idiot is gaslighting you. He's programming the world here in this to say that if we don't watch out for I'm not going to say, the other religion in the Middle East, the one that I'm talking about, he's saying that they're going to bring down the World Trade Center. He's thick. All this lot, all the club, they're thick. They think you're too stupid to understand. He's gaslighting you. He's pre-programming your mind and the world's mind. So eventually, 5-6 years later, when this event happens, you've already had the seed planted that this is militant lamb. You get what I'm saying, don't you? Right? Anyway, going back to the point of this tweet, it backfired. People didn't read it as now it's okay to make fun of that event. They read it as young people have seen through the lie told by the likes of the BBC and CNN, and are calling it out for what it is, a massive psyop that the big club pulled on the world using their centre of excellence, their Mossad in the Middle East. And just read the comments. I'm not laughing at the event, folks, obviously. I'm laughing at the fact that, look, it's just totally backfired on the club. This article in their propaganda is what I'm saying. And everyone's just calling out, look, these guys did that one. Notice they never talk about the Pentagon, i.e., why was there no paraphernalia from a crash around there? Nothing says trust the science like asking for the data to be hidden for 75 years. It's a reference to the recent medical thing. The world knows, even community notes know it. There's the infamous dancing Israelis that were celebrating, that turned out to be Mossad agents that were celebrating that event as it happened. There's Bibby himself being called out for the second time today. Boomers, that's people my age, is it not? Boomers are just realising now how indoctrinated they've been. And so on and so on and so forth. So, yes, I thought that was quite interesting. Sort of backfired a bit for them, didn't it? It is crazy. I hate the anniversary, folks, from the perspective that I have to watch all the brainwashed veterans like putting out this crass memorial on their Facebook pages to the day that lived in infamy, that changed and it's like, just don't get it, folks. They're so busy celebrating this Hezbollah pager thing. They don't understand the people that did it are the same people that sent our boys and girls to be massacred in the Middle East. The same club. They just don't get it. But our job's not to change them, is it? Our job is to walk the enlightened path ourselves. So I'm going to go over to locals, folks. Hope this is I'm not going to go right now. Don't leave yet. Do not leave yet. I'm going to go to the questions, to the comments rather. So let's have a look. Oh, hang on, if I can get them up. There we are. There we are. Yes, I've already seen people talking about this. Yeah, ain't no party like a Diddy and Obama party. Yes, glad you are too, Chris. Yeah, there we go. This is what I'm saying, folks. You guys know way more about all this stuff than I do. I just get how it works, if you know what I mean. I don't watch mainstream media, so... But you start seeing people like Ariana doing all this bollocks, don't you? And you feel sorry. Just another MK Ultra celebrity. Yes. What's Paul saying? How, Chris, did this get into me at an early age? 3? What, you mean that you understood all this stuff, mate? I don't know. I was a bit slow off the mark. I was enlightened before I was awake, if you can work that out. I'll talk about that on locals if you want. Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, was that in the thingy you're talking about? The band advert? It's fucking sick, that. When you see what they're actually portraying, then you understand. I know this is ITV, these adverts, but you can understand why people won't pay license fee and all that sort of stuff. That number.
Tango megaphone, please.
I don't know, but they've. I don't know if the upside down 9s are a reference for anything. What's that in numerology? 9 has 6, 15, 16, 25, 26, 35, 40. I'll have to look in my book. 4. Physical, spiritual, intellectual, emotional. No, I think that's something different. Yeah. Just sick, isn't it? Just sick. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Yes, they do, basically. Two world wars and a third one brewing if we let them, which we're not going to. So, yes, there we go. And just one final thing, folks. I'll get the diagram out just so we can see where, how this all fits together. And it's like this, isn't it? This is the new consciousness that all your kind of scripture, not your churches, not I'm not talking about religion here, folks. This is just scripture. So when Jesus says, like, the only way to the Father is through me, he means that if you don't activate the Christic within you, so the sacred secretion, basically get your endocrine glands working the way that they should do by living a righteous life rather than the debauched life that we've all been sold, that you don't enter the land of milk and honey, which is here, which is your paradise on earth. Most people are down here in the matrix, aren't they? And what these celebrities do is they have the chance to enter paradise just like you and I, simply by shunning worldly possessions, not living in the ego, eating a frugal diet, not bad-mouthing people, and just spreading love and kindness. They have the ability to do that. But they throw that all out the window when they sign that deal. Because why are they signing the deal? Well, they're signing it for that thing there, aren't they? They're signing it for ego, folks. These are people that have been so damaged as children, they crave adoration. They crave adoration so much that they don't even care if the papers are speaking like bad shit about them, just so long as they're in the papers. And that's what's going on. So they sell their soul to Satan. They sign this Faustian pact, and they're forever condemned to live in the three-dimensional world. Where walking down the street, they're getting stopped to sign autographs and all that bollocks that we were told when we was young makes you successful, rather than the real truth, which is none of that nonsense. That just brings you misery, pain, and drug addiction. The thing that makes you successful is learning the ability to shut this world off, which you do through meditation by shutting off your left brain, and you then move like Adam and Eve went east of Eden. You move into the right hemisphere of the brain, which is peace, love, kindness, empathy, satisfaction. You live in the present where everything's perfect. It's exactly the way it should be right now. There we go, my lovely. Sorry, got a bit long-winded that, but let's go over to locals, folks. There's a link there for our locals channel, folks. It's a free speech channel. It's free to join our locals, folks. I do videos for the people that pay me over there. I do special videos for them, or uploads. I've got some great stuff I'm going to be uploading soon. That all relates to sort of Second World War narrative and the like. But we can go and speak freely over there, folks. So I'll go there now. Massive thanks to everybody in the chat. You've been great. And yeah, that's it. Much love. See you on locals.